All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the East Long Meadow Housing Authority. Today is April 11, 2018. We do have a quorum, so first on the, prior to starting the agenda, I would like to just introduce everybody to Marilyn Gandini, our brand new
Gandini.
Gandini. I got the little cold. My eyes are killing me too.
What was that? Gazzini or
Gandini.
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 Gazzini?
Gandini.
G-H-E-D-I-N-I. Gandini.
You should know that. That's the Italian last name.
Yeah, I know, but the way she pronounces it. There's a difference between the Italian people pronouncing it and the American people pronouncing it.
Well, this is a Lithuanian pronouncing it. So.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So it don't sound like it's whatever you say it was.
Welcome aboard, Marilyn.
Thank you.
I know it's your first board meeting, so if I go too fast or if our executive director goes too fast, slow us down. There's a lot of acronyms that we use, so that's part of the housing, the lovely lingo that they have. So stop
No
us,
problem.
ask some questions. We want to make you feel at home here. First on the agenda is the minutes of March 2018.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Not hearing any. All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? And I would say for Marilyn to abstain since she was not here. So 4-0. Next on the agenda is the Formula Funding Award. That's gonna be good news.
Well, they keep upping things for me. I'm just gonna give the board the large print one. Joe, you're going to get
Sign.
a smaller print one because he's younger. He's got to sign
I
it.
gotta sign that.
Oh,
So
so
you
you
keep that. I gotta sign all the lovely
So,
paper once you
Wednesday.
guys accept, so.
So basically, down under the fish number, there's 045. They upped that for me to 82,339, which is why they're revising it. So
Is
we
that
have to
just
sign
based on
up.
their estimate or are quotes
No, they
coming in
want
higher?
me to do more work in that house, which is good. I mean, it's
So they give
empty.
you more money.
They gave me more money to do what needs to be done while it's empty.
Where is this?
We have 6 family homes scattered around town for low-income families.
Okay. Is that for one or for
This is for one.
one? Okay.
Was this the house that was at the claim? This is a
Actually, I think it is.
good.
I believe that is.
This is just one of the houses there.
Correct.
And there's 6 family houses?
I have 6 family houses. I have 2 vacant at the moment.
Where are you hiding them?
Lived
Been
in
down
town
for
for
42 years and I don't ever remember seeing a 6-family house.
Well, it's not a 6-family house. There's
It's
6.
different.
We have
6
6
different.
single-family
6
homes.
single family. Gotcha.
So they,
Okay.
so they're across the town.
Okay.
Come on.
And this one, I think, well, we don't want to mention streets, but this
Okay.
is one of the houses that we do own, in which we unfortunately had a flood
Oh.
in there.
There's 7 you know, there. 7 houses.
No, those are just 7 different projects.
Any other further discussions? If not,
All right, we need to make a vote.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I hear a
I will
second?
second.
Any further discussion? Not hearing any. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I just got one question, Joe. What is all this down here, original awarded $1,218,315? What is all this numbers down here?
That was from the very beginning. In 2008, the state came around and assessed everything that they believed needed to be done. So that was their original figure. So far, what they're telling me at the end of 2020, they would have given me the 320,708.
Instead of 1 million?
The 1 million is still out there. I've just only used 320,000 of it so far.
So far.
Because they only can give me so much
Money
every
at a
year to do my projects.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just pass that back out.
Okay, signed them both? Thank you.
Yep. So we had the question, so we got it all in favor, so it's 5-0. Next on the agenda is the maintenance new rates.
Pass that down. Whoops. And
Well, that's for the guys that work here?
Yep.
Maintenance men, yes.
And in pencil, I wrote, one went up 65 cents, the other one went up 54 cents, and then the difference, the percentages, and then their overtime rate is to the far right.
So just for Marilyn and our new board members, we have no say on this. This is basically coming from the Department of Labor, from DHCD. They're the ones that come up with the minimum wage rates for our maintenance guys.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever they go up on, Lynn just forwards this information to us for an FYI, in which we do have to implement it as of April 1 of 2018. So this is their study on what the rates are for each groups under the maintenance staff. So
Does this happen once a year, Joe?
yes.
So they do whatever they want. Okay.
And where are they maintaining all the,
We have 3 maintenance personnel, and
There's
they
only 2, Joe.
Well, there's 2 at the moment,
2.
but we have
we have
both
3. We have 3 positions. 2 are occupied,
It's only been 2 for the last 6 months, I believe.
and
Am I right or wrong now, Lee?
so basically the maintenance man, whatever work orders or repairs, they take care of Corey here, the 3 developments, Corey Hills, Inwood Commons, and
Village Green.
Village Green, and our scattered sites. So whatever,
so Corey Hill is?
this is Corey Hill,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I'm thinking of the other one.
Inwood Commons,
No,
Village Green,
no,
Brownstone?
Brownstone is
Okay.
not part of this? No,
No.
they're independent.
But this is not their rate now, though.
the
This-
rate
yeah,
now for the maintenance guy custodian will be $21.13.
The guy that's
now.
been here for 30 years, too? No, can't be.
That's the rate,
No, his would be 23.43.
$23.43. It's whatever classification that the gentleman is at, that's what they're getting paid.
Plus overtime.
Well, the overtime rate, it would be $35.15 for the maintenance mechanic number 1, yes.
Okay.
Alright. I think I answered that question. Any other things? So we don't need to vote on it, this is just an FYI
FYI.
for the board members.
And they're good through the 2019, March 31st, okay.
Correct.
This won't come up for a while.
Alright. Next, the executive director's contract.
Yeah, this has been a ton of fun.
Finish that,
Well,
maybe.
maybe. What I did was,
You want to maybe just go back, and just give Marilyn maybe an update of what we're talking about now, so.
My original contract is probably a 2-page contract, very, you
This
know.
is what, 5 pages?
Yeah, it was very
6
easy
pages.
reading, it was very, you know, just to the point on different things. And what's been happening is there's been a few, I'm not gonna say a lot, I think only 2, directors have been taking advantage of the system. So the Department of Housing came up with almost a 10-page contract. And it had a lot of stuff in there that was, you know, you could accept or not accept. But they really don't have the right to tell me what I should have in my contract, because the board hires me and my contract is between the board and myself. The Department of Housing can review it. They can say what they don't like about it or what they like about it, but they really shouldn't be signing it or telling me yes or no.
How long have you been executive director?
So,
Since,
So
well, I've been
does
here
mean we
since
don't have to approve
'92,
anything
and
then?
I've been director since '01.
Wow,
I'm 02.
congratulations.
Yeah.
And this is renewed every year? or
Every-
that scares
it's
me.
5
It
years.
makes no sense
That's
like
the
going
highest
through
that you
this.
can
I mean,
get.
Yeah.
So there's been no change in
maybe
your
I'm
contract for
stupid,
5
but I,
years.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. So I then called, our advocates is Mass Narrow, and I asked them about it because they're basically, the Department of Housing is saying the people who contracts were up in the last few months, they had to sign it. There's a lot of people that their contracts are not up, so they can wait. But Mass Narrow got a hold of it, and they kind of tweaked it to what they thought would be better for the ED and for the board. So that's the one that I'm using, because it just seems to be a little bit more, it seems to be, it kind of has the same lingo in it. It has the same bullet points that the Department of Housing, but on the Department of Housing, it's stating that they kind of had the right to fire me for, you know, certain things, which they're not here. They don't see the day-to-day or whatever. So this is something that has come up through Mass Narrow that I took, and I am going to use this one. The Department of Housing does have a mandatory cover sheet that basically says if I do not use theirs, that they want to know what each point that I'm not using of theirs and what the difference is.
Okay.
So they are allowing us to change it, but they want to know what the changes are, and they want to make sure that they're in the loop still. I would say at least 60, maybe 70% is the same as DHCD's, but there's a few things that they changed around.
So at last month's board meeting, we approved the increase to Lynn's salary based upon our fee accountants and based upon DHCD's wage schedule, in which Lynn has not seen an increase in a couple of years because the state was not allowing it. So during that time, it's brought it up to what a executive director for this size housing authority should be paid. So it's that amount that's in the contract.
Can I ask you a question while you keep going here? Now, according to what I could figure out, she gets $670,000 because she got $100,000 more, right? On the, whatever she uses for housing, that including salary, the way I understand it.
Are you talking about the budget?
Oh,
The budget, yeah.
Okay.
Does that include salary or not?
The whole
The
budget.
I'm not
budget,
laughing.
Yes.
the budget includes
It
the
does?
salary,
Mhm.
yes.
Budget.
Okay, so,
Everything.
okay, what's her salary now?
I don't know.
I don't wanna, I don't know, maybe I'm stupid, okay? But the thing is, you're telling us a story,
I'm not telling you a story,
okay?
Vincent.
She got a raise 2 years ago.
Last
Do you make $85,000 a year?
I just started
When?
as of today, yesterday.
Okay, so you're making 85, so you got a raise already.
I did.
Okay, so that's more than 10% of her budget. Am I reading this right or not? My math, okay?
He's saying if the budget is 660.
Well, no, the budget,
is-
the total budget is total expenditures that we receive through monies through the state. Out of whole line items, if this is a $2 million authority,
Actually,
it's
$1
not
million.
it's not based upon, the whole total budget is not based upon 10% of what her salary is. DHCD set up a schedule, as I think you may have not been at the board meeting 2 months ago, when they set up the schedule of their survey, in which we on the board had voted to accept the new wage schedule for the executive director. I think that might have been 2 months ago. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head.
I don't care if you get a raise or not, I'll be honest with you. But just the idea is, to me, if you get $85,000 or $670,000 that they give you, that's more than 10% of your budget. I don't know, I did payrolls for work. I mean, I had 20 guys working for me.
But the budget, I'm trying to get the whole, what your question is, Vinny.
That's my question. I mean, if
He
she
means the
gets
budget is 660,000.
70,000.
Well, out of the whole
70.
budget, you got line items for administrative expenses, you get money from the state, you get money that you're collected in from rents. So the whole total budget, that's what I'm saying, Marilyn, is which line item are you talking about? Out of $1 million budget, if it's all the different pieces. That's what I'm asking.
I mean, the way I understood the budget is 670,000. And out of that, she gotta pay salaries and everything else. So that changed now? Or she gets a rent on top of this, the budget? Does the rent go to the state, or you know, you gotta
I
explain
mean,
this
I
to
don't
me.
have the budget in front of us, but you were at the last meeting with the accountant explained the whole budget to us, and the budget is $1 million.
670,000.
No, it's like $1 million.
I guess I'm wrong.
I mean, I don't have the
You
budget
told me
figures
it's
in front of me.
100,000 more this year because they give you 100,000 more, so I just feel like the accountant went through. I mean, I'm only going by what people tell me,
Vinny,
because
well,
I'm not that good,
Okay, Vinny,
okay?
hold on 1 second. We're gonna
I mean-
stay on, Vinny, we have to stay on track. Right now, we're talking about the executive director's contract. That's what's on the agenda. So,
Okay.
any other questions that you may have, let's hold off until afterwards. We're talking about the executive director's contract right now. We're just giving our new commissioner an update on what's going on, so. Sorry, so right now, at last month's board meeting, there was a template in which I didn't feel should be a good one. That's why we instructed Lynn to take a look at other.
Contract.
Right.
Yeah.
There has been a lot of discrepancies throughout the state with the Department of Housing and Community Development because of what has happened in years past with other housing authorities. So now they're stepping in and trying to give guidelines of what a contract should look like. And there's been a lot of opinions throughout the state in which, you know, as Lynn had mentioned, we as the board do the hiring and firing of an executive director, not DHCD. The only time that really the state or the federal government, but because it's a state agency, would be if there was any criminal activities that was going on, a federal investigation or a state investigation, which then, you know, the attorneys will probably get in touch with the board and say, this is what we got against the executive director, and that you may need to step in and relieve the executive director because of.
So you're saying somewhere in the state that has happened? There's been.
It's happened in the past.
It
correct.
doesn't mean it happened here. Right?
No.
No. So now it's, you know, and basically a executive director does get a 5-year contract, and now Lynn's contract, it has expired.
Not yet, it's going to
It's
be.
going to expire, so now we want to enter into, the board last month has agreed to grant her a 5-year contract. So now we need to go through the whole rigmarole to enter a new contract, make it more cleaner and with the correct information of what her job duties are. And that's why we, you know, I asked her to look at what other housing authorities are using, and used to have been a former member of Mass Narrow, so know a lot about this, these contracts, so.
That's a book, for Christ's sake.
That's what I said.
Lynn's is a nice 8 pages. If you see my contract, it's a little longer than that, but. So.
You make the big bucks around here.
So.
So you tell me anyway. Plus you got appointed by the governor, Joe. God almighty. The former governor.
No, even the present governor is
I gotta
reappointed.
throw that in, Joe, because he keeps throwing it in on me. And I'm just starting here. I'm just asking questions because I don't know what the hell's going on here.
So,
How much of a pay raise was it? Am I allowed to ask?
This is the
Lynn would
last
probably
one,
have to
right,
say, I think, I don't remember what it was. Do you recall what the increase was for
It was like 9, I think.
$9,000 or $10,000 increase?
But she didn't get it yet, right? I was just getting it.
What? It would start May 1st, her new,
So why are we going through that contract?
Because we have to approve it.
we have to approve, we have to approve
She
the
didn't write
con.
it all in yet. How can you approve something without being written in?
Everything should be written.
It's written.
The information is in here.
It's written.
What about this end here? What is all this blank spaces?
This is what the Department of Health, when
Yeah,
she
this is
submits,
the old.
when she
old,
submits the
yes.
information
5
to
years
the
old,
department, they need to sign this off. This is their review. I just need to get permission from the board to sign this contract, so I can sign the contract, so then Ms. Booth can send this off to DHCD for their approval, and so forth.
So there weren't any changes to
Review.
the DHC
They need to review.
contract?
There was the DHCD, there was a few changes to it. This is more streamlined and, they didn't have, I mean, there is a clause in here that DHCD can fire me as long as they can prove there was criminal conduct. But the other one didn't kind of mention that. It was very, they just had a lot of other wording in there that I think I gave everybody a copy of it, and it was just, I mean, your head just kind of spun reading it. I mean, I like things that are definitely precise and on point, so you know what is expected of me, and I know what is expected of my job, what I need to do to run the authority.
This is all she's gotta fill out here?
Everything is completed. All it needs is, once the board, I am gonna ask the board for their vote. Once they give me approval, I can sign this. She signs it. She submits this off to DHCD. DHCD will sign off. They're gonna review the contract. Once they do, they'll complete the rest of those other forms. and submit it back to Ms. Booth.
And if they have a problem with anything, they'll let me know. And
And
actually,
they'll contact me because it does have my information in there, on there. The only thing that I'm gonna ask Lynn is, just notice that change that email, give you my personal email instead of my work email.
okay,
So in case if they do need to get in touch with me, I'd rather have them send it my personal email than my working email.
So where does the rents from here go? Or all the places, where does it go? It goes to the state or it stays here? Answer us.
Vinny, we have to stick with the agenda. Those questions you can ask afterwards. Let's stick with the
Okay, never
agenda.
mind, just forget it.
You have to stick with the agenda, sir.
So does the state fill in these amounts?
Yeah, right,
Or
they
do-
feel it.
those I do not have those. It's a
Okay.
rider that the Department of Housing did attach. At the moment, I kept it in there because I do not get an allowance for any of that.
Okay.
But I kept it in because there's always change.
Okay.
In a year from now, 2 years from now, they may say they want to get me a cell phone, or they may say they want to get me a tablet or something. I don't know, so I just kept it in there anyways.
So that's their fault.
Right. Any other questions in regards to Ms. Booth's contract? Not hearing any, I'll entertain a motion for the chairman of the board to execute the contract set forth with that one change of his email.
I'll make a motion.
Do I hear a second?
I will second.
Any further discussion? Not hearing any, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes, got it.
So she's gonna be getting $85,000 a year, is that it? How much is she gonna be getting?
That's what.
Vinny, it says $85,209.
Okay,
It's in the contract.
It's in the
here,
contract.
right.
right here.
No,
No, it's right here.
Yeah, it's in the
Okay, you've
budget
got it in
too.
the budget, okay.
That's for 5 years, right?
Unless if anything that comes up during the course of the year, if she's entitled to a raise.
Well, she got one, that's for damn sure. I got $7 a month, Joe.
Alright,
You guys laugh, you get to where
I'm
I
not
am.
laughing.
Everybody's
Smiling.
laughing, but you get to where I am and you'll see how much you're gonna be laughing.
All right.
anything
The
else?
car's all this big, you know,
I do want to, for the next meeting, I know, we like to move around, so I like to I'm gonna go down to Inward Commons. I will, put that out there now, and then maybe the following month we can go to the Village Green. And also to remind everybody that next month is our annual meeting. Marilyn, because you're new, you'll just be a member, but everybody, they would have to vote on the chairman, vice chairman, treasurer, and then usually have an assistant treasurer, sometimes we don't, depending on.
so what about the road over here? I'm asking.
Yeah, we'll get to that in 1 minute.
So next board meeting will be scheduled for May 9th. I will not be here. I'll be coming back
Okay.
on the 10th, from a conference. Unless if the vice chair is willing to step in for that meeting, or,
Can you change the date to
can
accommodate
cha-
you?
we can change the date, absolutely.
I'm free on Thursday that week. That's
Let me
about it.
just see what time. I think I fly back home. Let me just see. I know I fly back on the 10th, so I believe I have an early flight, so I should be able to make it to the 4:30. Let me just double
That
check.
is-
Are we just talking now?
It is, or the following Wednesday.
What's
Can I
that?
ask a question?
A Wednesday
And just
would be better.
just one
Oh, no,
moment.
we're just
We're
doing the
trying to
dates
figure
for-
out the dates.
16th might work.
Thursday would be bad for me, Wednesday would be better.
Want the following Wednesday?
16th, yeah.
Well, that ain't gonna work, because that's my board meeting in
Oh,
Connecticut.
third Wednesday of the month.
Tuesday? Tuesday. Would that be the 15th?
You know, actually,
I don't know, I don't have my calendar
you
in
know
front of
what,
me.
actually,
my
it's
phone
okay,
up.
no, the
The
16th I can do it, the 16th I'll do it, I'll just come back here and then that will probably work.
So
It'll be
that's
easier.
Wednesday, May 16th.
May 16th.
And
Start
we'll
at
be
4:15?
Yeah, I can't do the 16th.
You can't do the 16th, okay.
And that's at Inlet Commons. It's a good thing
Well, you gotta be
there's
at
only 6
4:30.
months.
I know.
You guys working for a living.
Tuesday,
Um,
22nd?
No, because then Lynn's not here because that's her conference.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Let's do it,
Forgot
for,
about
do it for
that.
Wednesday, May 16th. 4:30 is fine.
4:30, okay.
Yeah, because that's fine. 'Cause I just have to make it back to Manchester for 7, so it's okay.
Oh, okay. A lot of driving.
Should we make it earlier?
I don't
He
know.
can't.
Oh, you can't make it at all?
I can't be there that day, but
Oh,
you can, if you have it without me.
So we can like put you in any position we would like?
the problem when you're not present, yeah.
You got any kids yet?
One on the way.
Oh, no.
Congratulations.
Just take it easy, don't rush it.
4:30 on the 16th.
All right, yeah, do it for May 16th, 4:30.
Okay, I will let,
At Inwood.
at Inward Commons, I will let Inward Commons know that we will be coming down there.
Okay.
And having our board meeting. As far as I know, the only thing is gonna be just the annual meeting is the voting, and then after that is, at the moment, I know I don't have anything else, unless something has come up with my contract. I do have the state coming in on Friday,
This Friday.
this Friday, to, go over, it's, our PMR, which is our performance review. They come in once a year, and they look at, you know, a lot of our books, make sure we're doing what we're doing. Normally inspections, work orders, things of that nature.
Now, Vinny, you had a question now.
Yeah, forget it. My questions are no good because I still don't understand the system here. I thought the budget was 670,000, now it's over $1 million. How the hell did that go?
I think his question was, where does the rent go? So,
Well, all
does the rent stay
The
here? or
rent
does
stay
it-
here and pays.
Oh, that's what it is,
Yeah.
but the budget is still $670,000.
No, our budget is almost $1 million.
That's not the way I understood it when the guy was, the accountant was here.
Yeah, I would have to look, I can go into the office, I can get my budget, and I
Yeah,
can go
but that's
over
what
it
I'm
with
trying
you.
to say, I thought it was only $670,000, and that, I happened to get picked up this year, and I'm looking at the property, you got over $1 million worth of property they could have in taxes. That's why I'm asking this question, I said, how can she run with a $670,000 budget, that's including salary and everything
That's
else?
2016.
But what book is that?
That's a town report.
Well, that's the town report, we're not, the house.
Yeah, I understand, but this year is all the property that the state gets tax-free right here. Am I right? You don't pay any taxes, right?
We pay in lieu of taxes.
Like what?
I really don't know off the top of my head.
There we go.
I get the bill like once a month, once a year.
I'm just asking questions, that's all I'm doing. I don't wanna sit here like a dummy. I know I didn't go to college, but you know, somebody's telling me that's a budget of 670,000, and then all of a sudden it grows up to $1 million. How the hell did that grow like that? Now, you see what I mean? That's all tax-free budget there.
Well, we're not tax-free, we instead of paying taxes on our properties, there's a pilot program, it's payment in lieu of taxes, in which we pay X amount of dollars to the town. So instead of paying $100,000 in taxes, we may be paying $50,000. So there's the payments that the cooperative agreement that we make with the town.
Yeah, but nobody
town
seemed to know
services
that.
like fire and police and, yeah.
Correct. So all housing authorities basically have a municipal agreement with the towns or cities, wherever the housing
So
authority
you know how
is.
much we pay taxes?
And payment
In
in
lieu,
lieu.
yeah.
I would have to look in the budget, and the budget would tell you how
The
much we
payment
pay
in lieu
now.
of taxes, it's not much.
What
It's
is it?
not much.
And it's
I don't know what it is, but I know it's not much. When the bill comes in, it's not much.
So it's the agreement that you make for the social services.
But that's, if they were getting taxed that, man, we'd be paying $1,000 a month here.
Probably.
Eh? 2,283,000 for Village Green. 2,268,500 for.
I would say if you have any questions in regards to the budgets, you can write them down, or I'm sure same thing like when Mr. DePace was here last month, when you
Yeah,
did
but
ask
everything
questions.
was rushed through. I didn't want to tie the guy up. What do you want me to do? Give me his phone and I'll call him up.
You can write down
You
questions.
can't call the guy up, right?
Well, you can.
I don't have his phone number. I tried to get his phone number, but I couldn't get it. So I'm trying to take part in this outfit here, but I'm not succeeding. But anything actually, Joe, how'd you make out with the town manager about the road?
The road, I did speak with Senator Lesser, and
I did too.
And I know you did, because he did mention that he did speak with
Bet your
you.
life.
Lynn has talked with the town, and apparently we are on the plans for some type of improvement. Don't have a specific date, but we are on their agenda to get the road paved.
The road coming in?
Yes.
And now the town takes care of that? Or is that in
That's-
the
Supposedly
another
always
tax?
did. But now we
that
don't
is
know.
that is the part of the town.
Town. Okay.
It's a town street.
Mhm.
So they, as we were talking in the past, I was talking with the gas taxes and everything else, that the statute that they have out there, that, the gas tax basically pays for roads to be repaved and all that stuff. But as we all know, there's probably major roads that are in disrepair. So, yeah, the
Yep.
town will take whatever road that they can fix first and leave it. But Vinny has talked with the senator. I have spoken with the senator a couple of weeks ago. Lynn has been talking diligently with the DPW recently, and got somewhat of confirmation that we are on
The list.
the list to get done. So we are hoping to get that done sooner than later, but it's up to them on when they're gonna do it. We've made the phone calls, and we're on, just like any other private roads that you see, Shaker Road, whatever it may be, when they get to it, they get to it. So,
Can I say something now? Since you say your piece, now I'm saying my piece. I went to the highway department, and this everybody's avoiding. This thing was on the list to be repaid. He went to the Department of Transportation in Boston, and he had this Quarry Hill on the list to be paved. He comes back and says he cannot use any Chapter 90 money for this road because it's not a town road.
it is
Unless
a
the
town
guy's lying to me. I mean, a lot of talk is going on. But then I went and talked to the town manager. She's the boss. She told me she wants to see the agreement between the town of East Long Meadow and the state when this thing was approved to be here. Saying that she wants to know who's responsible for paving this road.
Well, that is.
And she says, sooner you bring me that proof, I'll do something about fixing the road. And that's as far as I got. I'm telling you. And so, since it's my job to find out what was the agreement between East Long Meadow and Quarry Hill and the state. So I went to the town clerk. I said, you bring me the minutes of when this thing was proved in 1977, and he still hasn't got the answer because it's taken him about 4 weeks, he told me. And that's where I am, Joe.
Well, that's the information that I've gotten and received,
That's
so.
what I
You've answered
am,
my
and I'm gonna go look
that's
for that
good.
report, okay, and then I'm gonna give it to you, you keep it in a safe.
You answered my question. I was gonna ask how old this project was, 1977?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
19, this got
76.
approved in 1977. I found all this stuff out. Apparently, the library doesn't have that much. I mean, I probably could have asked for that town report. I wonder if they got that from 1977.
They
See
got
what-
probably a microfilm somewhere.
Well, I mean, that's the only way we're gonna prove that this is what they're telling you. You can't just stand there and say, well, they paved it 20 years ago. 20
No.
years ago, who the hell knows what happened
No,
20
but the
years ago?
town should know all the streets, you know, they have records of what is town streets.
Apparently, a guy in Boston knows more than the town. Because he told the guy, and I was after that guy, what's his name, Feeney? I was after that guy, I've been after, he says, well, I put it on the list, and I went to Boston, since he's a new guy, and they told me he cannot use chapter 90 money to pave this road, so. And that's where we stand,
Well,
Okay.
we made the phone calls and we're on the list, so,
we're on the list, okay.
so.
I'm just, you know,
You got an extra one, anybody want an extra one?
I get,
Do you guys, you get yours?
I get
Do you
mine.
get yours
I
now?
get mine
Email?
automatically.
Do you get one yet?
I have been. I'm not sure if I got an April one though.
I don't get anything, so.
You should.
well, Vinny didn't get one, he could
I'll
have
take
one.
your,
What's that for?
Finn doesn't have one. I can get it.
No,
It's a newsletter.
Yeah, I can
for
get
the
it.
Mass
That's fine.
Narrow.
I can get
I
it.
can get it. I can give you this one because I can give it to Vinny easily.
Okay, yeah.
I can just print it up and I can give it to him
You get one on
tomorrow or
a
even
month, is that
tonight.
it?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Any other discussion?
No, I don't have
There's
anything.
nothing in here about
Thank you.
training.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I first make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any further discussion? Not hearing any. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes got it. Thank you, everybody.